taking over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
So you can get the SportsGrid app on iOS or Android in the Play Store. Go get it. It's free, and you're going to love it. It's got everything. You can watch the network on there, listen to the network, follow your favorite hosts like Carver High, in-game odds, everything. It's on the SportsGrid app. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Did you know we're streaming on X 7 days a week? All you have to do is go to SportsGrid-Live, and you'll see us streaming on X. You can get the Ferrall Coast to Coast and Ferrall on a Bench podcast on Apple iTunes every day, Monday through Friday. And the lineup tonight on SportsGrid TV at 6 o'clock, it's Game Time Decisions with the mayor of Miami, Joe Ranieri, of all people. And then at 8 o'clock, it's In-Game Live with Scott Wetzel and Dave Sharapan. At 10, it's Sports Rage with Morency and his boy, the Prime Minister, Cam Stewart, live in Toronto and Vancouver. And then, of course, on SportsGrid Radio at 8 to 10. It's Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid TV, SportsGrid Radio, all tonight. Check it out. In fact, we recommend two different earbuds, like an AirPod over here and like a Beats over here, so you can listen to the TV and the radio and have it all going. You just have it all going. SportsGrid, it's just the way to live. All right, Carver High, into hour two. We're looking at the return of Jimmy Lymphoma to the place that he tore up and shredded, and the bloodletting of Jimmy Butler in Miami is well known now of what he did to ruin the Miami Heat season and destroy that team, which is exactly what he did. Now he returns home tonight to get some abuse.
Yeah, he should get some abuse tonight. Jimmy Butler spoke at practice yesterday before his big return. He talked on several topics, them suspending him. They just wanted me away from the team. No hard feelings, blah, 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 blah. Here he is as he gets ready for facing the Heat for the first time.
This is basketball. This is very simple. I don't have all the emotions that everybody thinks that I'm going to have. Like, it is what it is. I realized that I had some great years here. I've built some incredible bonds with some individuals in the organization, in the city, hell, in the state of Florida. But I'm going in there to hoop. I'm going in there to play basketball. Ain't nothing nobody say, nothing nobody do. It's going to get me out of character. And nobody got me out of character whenever I was going through what I was going through this entire season with the suspension. It's another day for me.
Well, there's no doubt he knows how to play basketball. That's what he does. So, but what he also does is, what hasn't he done to destroy everywhere he's been? He leaves a trail of blood wherever he's been. He's been on so many teams now. Has anyone noticed ever that people get sick of him and all of his prima donna bullshit and all of his whining and moaning and groaning about money and this and that and how he challenges Suits? I mean, he just throws Suits right under the bus. Pat Riley, a living legend, and he treated him like crap. This guy is a real gem, this one. So he acts like nothing bothers him. He's full of Shaq. He really is. I don't deny he can play, but he's not fooling me. He's phony ass. Everywhere he goes, he's a cancer. And eventually, someone said it to me best playing ball one morning. 2 years from now, it'll be the same thing in Golden State. He does the same thing everywhere he goes. It's his MO. Then he blames everybody else. And no one cares about his personal life. Like, I don't, and his kids and his wife, who cares? His dad died. Everybody's dad dies. Stop. I don't want to hear it. Crying and moaning about all of his problems. You don't have no problems when you got $300 million in the bank. Believe me, that kind of money buys a lot of problems to be painless. Just stick them in the refrigerator. Yeah. Oh God, I got so many problems that I'm driving my Lamborghini and living in my $10 million house on the water that he destroyed, by the way. That guy's suing him. Don't get me started on this guy. But I'll take the Dubs tonight. I will. I think he'll have a big game.
Well,
I can't stand him. I can't stand him. I think he's something else. This guy, Jimmy Lymphoma. What a character this guy is. I wouldn't want him anywhere near my team, honestly.
The Dubs are favorites tonight, -5.5. Now, Curry's been out the last few days. I saw Kerr say yesterday that Curry does want to come back tonight, but that's not official. He wants to be there for Jimmy. I'm not even kidding you. That's what he said, the reason why he wants to come back. He wants to be there for Jimmy tonight against his old team. I'm with you.
His pelvis?
Warriors, 5.5. Let's go here tonight in that one. All right, elsewhere this evening. Orlando, off the win against the Lakers last night, are in Charlotte against the Hornets. Magic -5.5, 213.5 the total.
Well, you would think that they could beat them. Of all teams that are awful. I mean, the Hornets have already their season ended 2 months ago. They literally packed it in 2 months ago. They don't even. I'm surprised they put a team on the court for the games. Can you imagine paying money to go watch them? Like actually putting down $200 to go watch that team play? Seriously, let's get real here. They're awful. So there's no way I'm betting on them. I don't even care if I lose the bet. I wouldn't bet on them if you paid me. How about you paid me to bet on them and you made the bet and I still wouldn't do it?
That really shows you that you don't want to do it, that you would not do that, go to that length to not wager on them. That is how it goes. That's how bad they are. The Spurs are in Detroit against the Pistons. -10.5 for the Pistons here, 233.5 the total.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it smells to me like Detroit here, the way they've played, and really, I think the Spurs have gone into hiding with everything that's gone on with Wemby and with Pop. Nobody even knows who the coach is. They're a mess, and everyone, Stephen Castle is just the greatest. Just stop, Vassell, Castle, all of them. Just stop. The Pistons have been kicking teams' asses for months. I'm not betting on them either. The team that's all broken, they got all these problems. A coach has had a stroke. He may never coach again. People are crying. They can't get around all that sappy stuff. Done with it. Pistons. No mercy
tonight.
Not on this
No
show.
mercy. Sweep the leg. We can't have it. The Mavs, after the win in Brooklyn last night, they'll cross the river and go to the Garden against the Knicks. No AD tonight. He's not going to play back-to-back. This coming back so soon from an injury. Knicks -10.5, 225.5 the total.
Well, I mean to tell you, I would think the Knicks get it done tonight and cover this number at the Garden against a, short-staffed Mavericks team without AD. I mean, they're playing with Klay Thompson and P.J. Washington, and that's it, right? That's literally it. You saw that team last night. They won because the Nets suck, and they had AD, and he barely tried. He had, the first 6 points in the game, whatever. They were like dunks. He didn't even he was laughing. Did you see him? He was literally laughing. It was so easy. It was like he was playing, grade school kids. That's how bad the Nets are. What they need to do is give Marks another raise. Give him more. He's living already in a penthouse. They should buy him a mansion in the Hamptons for the job he's done with the Nets. He's just such a brilliant team wrecker. He is just a fantastic job of destroying this team. And the entire Brooklyn, the entire borough has been destroyed by the Australians. And I believe that.
two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They are a street ball team. They remind me of an N1 team, right?
Yeah.
They are street ball fast, park fast, playing in the hood. They are no joke, McNeese.
Yeah.
They can beat anybody.
Well,
They won 27 games as well for a reason.
It's a bracket. You trust the team to make a run. Feels good until it doesn't. And that's didn't feel good for all that long with Kansas.
Only on SportsGrid. That magical time of the year when everyone suddenly becomes a basketball expert. Highlight watching, mascot picking, bracket stressing. Sound familiar? Skip the guesswork with Bracket Central. Real expert picks, trusted analysis, and zero stress. Because choosing teams by mascot cuteness isn't exactly a winning strategy. Only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
We're still gutting our way through the NBA schedule tonight with Carver High. We're in New York. We're live. Good to have you with us on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. All right, what's left?
Yeah, the Hawks are in Houston tonight against the Rockets. Rockets minus 8.5, 235.5 the total here.
Yeah, I like the Rockets at home. I think they're too tough in that building. I think that team, the Hawks, are a painful team. Like, I think they're, hard to beat. And they're a problem. And they win a lot. They're 500. They're not, one of these teams I was talking about that's below 500 that sucks. They're legit. Like, they can win games. They always seem to give the Knicks problems. So I think they'll be in this game. I think it'll be a good game until the fourth. I think in the fourth, the Rockets will finish them off.
Well, they do have a chance to get to 500 tonight if they win. They can get to 36-36 on the season if they somehow found a way in Houston. They have played much better over the second half of the season, that's for sure.
I think those rookies they got, Mike, are legit. Like, they have great players that, I think they ended up doing very well in the draft. And I think I love watching the kid, the Great Barrier Thief. I think they got all kinds of upside, positivity. They're headed in the right direction. There's a lot happening down there right now. They got the, Elite Eight games down there this weekend. Atlanta's always jumping. They're going to have the Super Bowl again. It's just always hot town, baby.
Always hot town. That's for sure. Now, this team is bad, and that's the Jazz. They suck. They have the Grizzlies in town tonight. Grizz minus 10.5, 239.5. Is the total in that one. No Ja again for the Grizz. Ja still out.
I think the Jazz will cover. I think that the Grizzlies will win this game and will not handle the 10.5 piece. I think they'll get it done. They won't cover. I think the Jazz at home, this is one of those games, right, that you think is, you just look at it on paper and you would say Grizzlies, right? Automatic. But this is one of those games that, the good old home team, people pay all that money to go down and watch them in Salt Lake Shakers at the Delta. They want to get something for their money. And tonight will be in my view, one of those nights where that could be the one Rogie Vachon. A rogue bet. I'll take the Jazz and the 10 and a hook.
The Cavaliers have lost 3 out of 4 on this 5-game West Coast trip that they're on right now. They'll finish it in Portland tonight. They're minus 6.5, 229.5 the total.
Yeah, I think the losing stops tonight in the Moda in Rip City. The question is, can they handle that 6.5? I say they do, and they finally come out of their shell. They've been losing. That ends tonight. They'll cover and win against the Blazers. Even though, the Blazers have been relatively respectable. Let's calm down when you're 8 games under 500. I don't want to hear how good you are.
And finally tonight, second game of the TV doubleheader, you have the Thunder going for win number 60 on the season in Sacramento against the Kings. Thunder minus 10.5, 232.5 the total.
Yeah, I mean, you saw what Boston did to him, right? And their guy Tatum had the Rolly Massimino and was done, and they carried him off the floor, and they still beat their ass. I think it's another belt-to-ass moment tonight for the Thunder over the Kings at the Golden One. There will be no lighting the beam tonight.
No lighting the beam. There you go. Your night in the NBA. Pretty
Let's
good Tuesday night slate for you. Lots of games tomorrow. We'll get to those, of course, then on Coast to Coast. We do have college rack that we have to get through now, too. Now, yes, the NCAAs will come back on Thursday night, Sweet 16. I have a few things to do with that, but we are later on going to get to tonight. There's NIT and CBI rack that we have to do as well. But let's start with the tournament. Of course, we're on a break for a couple of days, and it's a good time to give you, there it is, look at it all, the big board here from the SportsGrid graphics. We love it as we get a little closer to the Final Four in San Antonio on the Riverwalk at the Alamo Dome, and coming up a week from Saturday. NCAA tournament betting update for you. Favorites so far in the tournament, 28 and 24. So favorites covering just a little bit more. Favorites of 6 or more, though, Scotty. How about this? Big favorites, 19 and 9, 66% against the spreads. Teams getting the public money down, 22 and 28 against the spread. The Big Ten's been the best, 12 and 4. ATS unders, 28 and 24. And if you bet $100 on every underdog, which people sometimes do in the tournament, you would be down almost $1,700. It's been like that.
Oh, isn't that great? So what happens every year in this tournament is all of these morons bet on all these underdogs. All they do, the Sunday when the selections are made and the brackets are made, everyone and their mother and brother and sister and uncle and cousin tells you about all the upsets that are going to happen. And they just rattle off all of these 12, 5s and all these 16s are going to do it this year and all these other, upsets. And then this year, none of them happened. I mean, what upset was there? Just McNeese? And then they got their ass beat. So what's happened here is, as we've said yesterday, this is a bracket now in the regionals of nothing but heavyweights. There's no small schools involved at all. The Gales, none of them. There's none of them there. So some people are saying that this is the future of the NCAA tournament, that with NIL and money comes power, comes strength, comes, we're too big for you. You're not beating us. So it's essentially given us tons of bad games.
Which hopefully now will equate to tons of good games, you would think, with just 16 left and most of them being heavies. You would think that the coin will flip now. When we come back, you sent me this list ranking these coaches. I couldn't believe looking at it. That list of it being ranked.
Looking for an edge in betting basketball? Injuries can make or break a game. Get insider knowledge from Dr. David Chow and the team of experts with Sick Picks at Sports Injury Central. We reveal hidden health-based advantages the sports books miss. Our doctors provide insights, and our algorithm tells you who to bet on. Spreads, props, totals, in-game bets, Sick Picks covers it all. Go to SickScore.com and sign up for Sick Picks and use the promo code SportsGrid for a free week today.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Carverhigh's always giving me the inside skinny on everything. That's what I like about him.
I do try to do that for you. I want to get into some of these coaching things that you sent me. Now, I'll tag this first with this Chris Beard stuff. The last 7 NCAA tournaments, Chris Beard is now with Ole Miss. He took Texas Tech to an Elite Eight. He took Texas Tech to a title game. Now he has Ole Miss in the Sweet 16. Only the second time that school's ever been to that number. 4 coaches bring their team to the Sweet 16 in their first season on the job. That would be Calipari, Dusty May, Mark Pope, and Kevin Young of BYU.
Can I just say something really quick? Like, honestly, about Calipari. So he walks out of that job and into this situation in Fayetteville at Bud Walton with a team of nobodies. And except for maybe that Boogie Flan kid, who's allegedly everyone's superstar of the future. But the reality is, I mean, this guy is truly unbelievable. He got out of that nightmare, which is they think you should win the national championship every single year. You should win every single game, never lose a game ever. And they're just, you can't satisfy them. They are never going to be satisfied. I'll tell you what, I would be in Fayetteville, Arkansas right about now. Satisfied. I'm in the Sweet 16 with this guy in his first year in Fayetteville. He has done a hell of a job, in my opinion, considering can you imagine the quagmire that he came from? Who needs that stress? I mean, I will guarantee you, watch this guy Pope in 5 years what he looks like. Bald, tired, stressed out. He'll be drinking from the bottle in his office. I mean, they'll run you out of town. They will run you ragged there and stress you out.
Well, the good thing for him is that he's still playing this weekend too. So that's a good thing for him, is that in his first year, he's still playing this weekend. So they got to be happy about that.
They really do have a thing there about getting good players to play in Lexington based on 90% of them go to the NBA, no matter who the coach is.
Right. Look, I don't, that we'll see about if that continues. I think that's a Calipari thing. He really brought in a lot of pros during his time there. I think that it now becomes money. Money's what talks around these
they
parts
got plenty
now.
of that down there in horse racing country.
They got plenty of that. Although you never know, they might want to pivot like Indiana and become a football school.
Scott has done a great job down there
now,
of losing.
Here we go. Ranking the Sweet 16 coaches. Now, this is according to people who think they know. Now, let me just start here. You have Kelvin Sampson at the top. I mean, I got guys on this list who have won national championships. Okay, that's what I have on this list. I mean, Izzo. You've got Bruce Pearl's 5, Chris Beard 6, Rick Barnes is 7. He's been coaching for 40 years and he's never been in the Final Four, and he's 7. Ahead of Calipari, ahead of Dusty May's been to a Final Four with Florida Atlantic. This list is nonsense, to be quite honest with you. Nonsense.
I'll be honest with you. Seriously, for my money on that list, it would be Izzo would be the best coach. And then I'd put Calipari. And then I would literally put Chris Beard in there and then Pearl. And then I would say it's pretty obvious that Shire has turned into the protege that he was under Mike Krzyzewski. He's no different than when Bob Knight coached Mike Krzyzewski at Army and Mike became Bob Knight at Duke. Let's face facts. He taught the same defense, the same offense, and then he just got better at it and got better players and won 2 more national championships than Knight. He learned everything from Bob Knight, and he'll admit that to this day. He didn't like the way Bob Knight behaved later in life, but I think that Shire's becoming Mike Krzyzewski, and I think he's a hell of a coach.
I think he's a hell of a coach, too.
And then I put Painter right there. Painter's been unbelievable at Purdue.
He has. He has been unbelievable, but, I mean, some of this is a little disrespectful on this list. But, hey, we shall. I mean, Rick Barnes never won a big game in his life, ever in this tournament. He never gets it done.
And he looks like it, too, that he's never won one with those crow's feet.
He looks like it, too. He looks like it.
Guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They are a street ball team. They remind me of an N1 team, right?
Yeah.
They are street ball fast, park fast, playing in the hood. They are no joke, McNeese.
Yeah.
They can beat anybody.
Well,
they won 27 games as well for a reason.
It's a bracket. You trust the team to make a run. Feels good until it doesn't. And that's didn't feel good for all that long with Kansas.
Only on SportsGrid. That magical time of the year when everyone suddenly becomes a basketball expert. Highlight watching, mascot picking, bracket stressing. Sound familiar? Skip the guesswork with Bracket Central. Real expert picks, trusted analysis, and zero stress. Because choosing teams by mascot cuteness isn't exactly a winning strategy. Only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of thoughts.
18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play. every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, so let's see these odds for all these regions because it's going to get thick on Thursday night.
Yes, by the time we get to late Sunday night, we'll know who the Final Four are going to San Antonio and who will be coming out of each region. Of course, Thursday and Saturday will be the East in Newark at the Rock. Duke is the favorites, minus 175 to do that. Alabama plus 350. Arizona plus 650, BYU at 9-1, the long shot to come out of Newark.
Well, I think it's just going to be incredible at the Rock. I mean, these are all really good teams, and I think it's crazy when I hear everybody think it's so automatic because I just don't agree with that. I honestly think that, frankly. These teams are going to have their hands full, literally, because, Alabama, is better than BYU, allegedly, because what? They played in the SEC? Or I think the reason they're better is because they're more experienced, that they've been here and done that and gone to the Final Four, right? And I think that they got a great coach, great team, great guard, big, strong team, players. Defensively, they're very aggressive. And then what? BYU's a shooting team. So they really are dependent on knocking down shots. They have to, or they're going to lose. And I think the problem that they're going to have is that Alabama's going to defend them like no other. This is what happens. I played last night with a guy that scores 25 a game, and we held him to 2 points. You lose. That's game over. Your star player doesn't score. BYU's going to have trouble scoring, I think, against Alabama. But I think BYU's a really good team. And then, so I think Alabama's going to get by BYU, and then they're going to play, I think, Duke. I think Duke will handle Arizona. They're flat out better than them. And then I think Alabama's going to give Duke a nightmare. I think it's going to be a nightmare game for Duke. I think all of Duke's games have been blowouts. That'll end on Saturday. Saturday night, they're going to have their hands full against that Alabama team. And even though I said Duke goes to the Final Four, if anyone can do it, in my view, it's Alabama that can knock them off.
The West region will also be on Thursday and Saturday. That is at the Chase in San Francisco, home of the Warriors. Florida, minus 125. Texas Tech at plus 280. Maryland, plus 470. And Arkansas, the long shot at plus 950.
Listen, Florida is going to beat Maryland. I think Maryland got lucky against Colorado State and pulled it out of their arse. And I'll give Queen credit. He knocked it down. When the money was on the table, he knocked it down. It was a great shot, moving, guy all over him, body, still got it off with the kiss and in. That's not happening against that Florida Gator team. They're not going to have success. They could barely handle Colorado State, a Mountain West team, and we've been making fun of the Mountain West for months, okay? Now they have a real nightmare on their hands. They're losing. They're losing that game. And then Texas Tech is flat out better than Arkansas, and that's just all there is to it. They're the better team. They're the deeper team. I think everything about them is better. And then I think Florida will beat their ass too.
The South region will be Friday night, Friday and Sunday in Atlanta. Auburn is the favorite at minus 140. Michigan State plus 310. Ole Miss plus 650. Michigan 7-1. Michigan.
Like, I want Izzo to get back to a championship game, but I think he's got his hands full with Chris Beard and Ole Miss. I'll be pulling for Michigan State, but I think they're beatable because they don't shoot the ball particularly well, and Ole Miss does. So It's real simple for me. Like, it's like one team can hit the shots, the other one can't. The reason Michigan State's in all these games is their physicality. They're bigger, they're tougher, they're bangers, and they play great defense. They're going to have to get in the face of these Ole Miss shooters, and I think their guards are fantastic the way they shoot from outside. So I think their perimeter defense is the key to the game for my money. And then I think Auburn will have to deal with Michigan. They're a pain in the ass. They are, but I think Auburn's a better basketball team than Michigan. So, I mean, it could happen. Michigan never loses, but I think they still fall here to Auburn. Broom and company are, they're like an NBA team. They're so physical. And then we'll see how tough the two bigs are for Michigan in this game on Friday night. That's for sure. But I say Auburn gets through.
And also on Friday and Sunday will be the Midwest at Lucas Oil in Indianapolis. Houston -110, Tennessee +240, Kentucky 6-1, Purdue 7-1.
So look, I've said it before. They said to me last night, Coach even said it, you can't beat a team 3 times in one season. We played this team twice, beat them twice, beat them again last night by 20 and won the title. Kentucky beat Tennessee twice. They can do it again. It can happen. All these people that say it can't happen are tripping. Like, even my daughter said it. I said, you think that we can't beat this team 3 times? She said, why not? You beat them twice, beat them again. So we did. Watch out, Tennessee. Kentucky seems to have your number, even though I want Tennessee to win that game. I think they got their hands full, and I definitely think Kentucky can win it and cover, but I'm rooting for Tennessee there. Purdue is better than anyone thinks they are. I think Painter's a great coach. I think they'll be in the game with Houston and give them a game to the end because I don't think Houston shoots the ball well. What I think they do well is Duke and Houston are the 2 best defensive teams in the country. So I think Purdue's going to struggle to score as well. I think this is going to be a war defensively and low scoring, believe it or not, even though I don't do totals. I think Purdue will be in the game and cover the number. So I still like Houston somehow to come out of that. I know it's gaudy to go all number ones, but they're just all flat out better than the teams are playing.
There you go for the odds to make it to the Final Four in San Antonio. I'll come back tomorrow with all the odds for the games. We did those yesterday. Not much change there. We'll see tomorrow if we get any movement on a few of those ahead of Thursday night. A few other things. This actually kind of surprised me. The NCAA tournament, the most watched so far since 1993, averaging 9.4 million through the first 2 rounds. I'm just a little, frankly, surprised, I guess, because the games have sucked. So that's what has surprised me, that it's been the most watched tournament since 93.
Well, I think something has to be said for, the old saying, what the hell else are we going to do in March? What the hell else are we going to do than watch the NCAA basketball tournament every March? What are we going to do here? Like, I watched some of the Valspar here and there on Saturday and Sunday because the game sucked, but I still was watching sucky college basketball games 85-90% of the time. I sat and watched crappy games rather than anything else because, quote unquote, what the hell else are we going to do?
It is true. That is probably a good reason behind it. Some coaching hires, more coaching hires across the country. First, UNLV hires former Georgia Tech and Memphis coach Josh Pastner. Of course, he's been working at ESPN the last couple of years. He will now be the head coach again at UNLV. And Mike Bibby, who, of course, was part of that Arizona national championship team in the late 90s, will be the head coach at Sacramento State. Your boy Mike Bibby getting involved.
So I was a teammate with a guy that was a superstar player at Sacramento State, won titles with him. It's a cool place for basketball, believe it or not, but I don't know how he'll ever compete with players and NIL money or anything else at Sacramento State. But I think Mike Bibby was a hell of a player, and I think he'll be a good coach. I just don't know what kind of bodies he's going to get to go there. Like, even I think Bibby can be better than Pastner at UNLV, but he's never going to have that kind of NIL money.
Here's a tip. Some machines and online games have higher average payouts than others. Want to try to maximize your odds? Well, do some research online to find games which have the highest RTP or return to player percentage. So now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all. It's
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rhythm. Get it inside.
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Are you kidding me? We've got the Muzzy on. Are you kidding me? The Golden Muzzy. Look at him. In Toronto, Nick Alberga, our boy from Leafs Morning Take, NHL.com Fantasy. Always a fan favorite on coast to coast, north of the border. We're the only Americans that he likes at all.
No comment.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. I'm fired up. I was in Nashville over the weekend, so the hangover finally going away, and I'm pumped, man. The Stanley Cup playoffs less than a month away here.
I mean to tell you. So we might as well start with that Islander controversy last night. I saw it. What I liked about it was, as you heard me say to you, the audience hasn't heard yet. I loved his post-game presser where he just literally threw the NHL under the bus and Toronto and their replay and the league, and he just went to town. And then you're telling me today he got away with it?
Yeah, last I checked, there hasn't been a fine. And it's sort of funny. I sort of chuckle at this because back in our day, and I hate using that term, I'm only 35, but 15 years ago, this was a normal occurrence in the NHL where it was torts or it was somebody else would speak up in the media, be all pissed off, and then we just move on with our lives. But now it's a bigger story because it never happens. It's a different hockey league. And I think to your point you made in the break, and you both made the point, the great point, is the NHL probably didn't fine him because they knew he was right. I mean, like, just look at the play and go and look back at it and sort of compare it to other plays that's happened throughout this season and previous seasons. I don't know how that goal, I don't know what they were thinking there, you know?
I mean, he had nothing to do with that crease, and I thought the goalie shoved him in the gut with his stick, and I just thought it was terrible, and obviously at a terrible time for the Islanders at the horse track to lose that game. They couldn't afford to lose that game.
Pretty much. We're running out of racetrack in this season. There's a full horse race, of course, in the Eastern Conference. When you look at Montreal, you look at the Islanders, the New York Rangers, every point is so important. Columbus in that conversation, too. That was last night's opponent for the Islanders. You need every point you can get. And this goes back to the whole conversation of the gray area when it comes to goalie interference, video reviews. You just know this time of year, the margin for error is razor thin. And just watch. The Islanders will miss the playoffs by a point, and we'll all look back at this game and be like, what the hell? It's utter nonsense. It just doesn't make sense to me. And even as somebody who covers this league on a daily basis, I still don't know what is or what isn't goalie interference. So I have no idea how to comment when I see it happen.
Let's talk about how, you got teams like Ottawa on fire, basically. They're playing the best hockey of anyone in that precarious wild card positioning race that's going on. I mean, when you're winning 7 out of 10 games, I can respect that.
Certainly, and I think that's a big conversation right now, too, and I would include the Montreal Canadiens in there. Games in hand is so vital this time of year, and Montreal pretty much controls their destiny. Nobody expected this team to be involved in the conversation. They've exceeded expectation for sure. I mean, we'll see if they can hold on, but I think you look at Ottawa, if you're thinking about teams who could sniff around sort of an upset in first round, maybe it's the Ottawa Senators. They have the goaltending. I think their blue line's much better. I think Travis Green, has done a great job. I love the Dylan Cousins move. I think if you're looking for some action tonight in that Buffalo-Ottawa game, it's a revenge game for Dylan Cousins. So maybe you're having to pick up a point or score a goal. But I think on paper, you look at that Sens roster, they should have been much better than they were playing earlier on this season. So certainly a team I think nobody wants to play in the first round because they're really getting things together at the right time here, bud.
I can't tell you how, if I'm a blue shirt fan, how disappointed I am. Like last year, what were they, 30-11 at the Garden, something like that. And then this year they've sucked. They're a 500 hockey team at the world's most famous. And I think eventually at some level, it would be the reason they don't make it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they're utter junk. I think you look at that roster on paper, there's a big reason why a lot of people were pegging them to maybe go all the way to the Stanley Cup and win the Cup this year. Like they were deemed a Stanley Cup favorite, if you will, coming into this season, but it's been negative story after negative story dating back to Jacob Trouba. The names filtering in terms of the media, potentially being on the trade market. They trade Kakko. Shesterkin and sort of the noise around him being in a contract year. He gets the big fat contract and he's been really, really good, but they've lost their identity. And it's pretty much what's happened to this Rangers team, but it's so easy to forget. They were in the Final Four last year, right there with the Florida Panthers in the Eastern Conference Final. So they're running out of racetrack here. I mean, simply put, and I just don't like the way this team has played down the stretch where it leads me to believe that maybe this is not the year for the Rangers and they end up missing the playoffs and jobs are lost here.
So how about the Blues, the way they're playing? What if they won like 6 straight games? And then I watched the Wild. I bet on the Wild last night. I went for it in Dallas, and they got shut out. Those are your top 2 wild cards, Minnie and the Blues. And the Blues are just killing it right now.
Well, firstly, with Minnesota, I think they've had a really good year considering everything. Kirill Kaprizov was probably the heart favorite midway through this season. And just hasn't been back, and I really haven't heard much on that front. I know they've fallen into a wild card spot. If they don't get Kaprizov off, or back, I should say, Brodin too, I think it's going to be curtains in Marc-Andre Fleury's final season. But I think you look specifically at St. Louis, and maybe you try to look and target some teams who could be worthy of a surprise in round one. I think it would be tough, but you never know. St. Louis and Winnipeg, they're really dialed in right now, and it's ultimately so intriguing because they were close to maybe trading their captain and Braden Shen at the trade deadline, and they didn't. They held on to him. They put some faith in their team, and Binnington's really carried that momentum from the Four Nations. He's been excellent, and I wouldn't want to play any team that's playing playoff hockey. We just talked about Ottawa, Montreal, and I would certainly include the St. Louis Blues in that conversation, heating up at the right time of year.
You've been killing us in everything. Hockey, the Four Nations, soccer. They've turned on Wayne Gretzky now. I have seen it all, Muzzy. I don't know what to think anymore. I love Canada. Why is everyone turning on me?
Not sure, buddy. I'm not sure. I don't know what to tell you, but it's so great to be with you, bud.
I love you. Hey, Nick, good to see you, buddy. We'll get you on for the playoffs for sure, brother. Take care.
Yep.
Here's a tip. Some machines and online games have higher average payouts than others. Want to try to maximize your odds? Well, do some research online to find games which have the highest RTP or return to player percentage. So now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
Time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, so I thought this story today was incredible about St. Francis of PA, Mike.
Yeah, St. Francis of PA, of course, who we just had in the NCAA tournament. Remember, they lost on that last-second full-court pass to Alabama State in the first four in Dayton. It was their first trip in the NCAA tournament since 1993. Hell of a story. Well, the news comes down today that they are dropping from Division I down to Division III athletics after making this tournament. Now, let's remember one thing. This was not something that they woke up this morning or woke up after making the NCAA tournament and decided, we're not going to play a higher level of athletics anymore. This is something that has been in the works for months, if not longer, and it just so happened they made that great run in the NEC and won the tournament and got in the dance. So it's just the way that it goes. But basically, Scotty, the bottom line is, listening to the president, one of the fathers there who runs that institution, is that they are not getting into the business of college athletics becoming professional sports. They can't pay players. They can't travel. These conferences are now becoming, even the small ones, like the NEC and the MAC. You're now, he says, I got to travel from my team from Chicago to Boston to back. You know, we can't do it. You know, we want these kids come here to go to school. We are not, we don't have guys going to the NBA. We need to become a institution of learning again. It's better for the kids. They need to be around their friends, their teammates, everything else. So he put out this long explanation for it.
Well, you know, obviously it's a Catholic school, and, you know, that's neither here nor there for me with that. But I'll say this. I think it's a powerful statement to what we've been talking about on this show for months. Listen, this is ruining college sports. It's no longer student athletes. There's no such word. It's just not feasible to be that small and to matter and to have the ability to recruit, to pay players, to play at a dinky-ass school. And so what if they win their conference and go to the NCAA tournament and lose by a Hail Mary bucket? The reality is none of them would go pro. The reality is this is a smart move to put athletics on the burner and go get your education. I said this yesterday at great length. None of these big schools, none of these big players that think they're hot tamales going pro. They're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. I mean, like one guy maybe on these teams makes it. And they go to the NBA, and then do they matter in the NBA, or are they sitting at the 12th seat? And then they still make money. There's no denying it, but they don't last. And then they end up overseas. And then they end up in the Far East. And then they don't even know who they are. They don't even know their families. And remember, they never got an education at all. They never went to class, ever. I'm telling you, the best thing I ever saw was this move. Because these kids will actually go get their education and amount to something in life. All of these guys are smoking pipes, thinking that they're going pro and going to make $400 million because they think they're so special. They are tripping. I mean, they are absolutely losing their minds. And I hope there are coaches that have the stones to tell them that, because they're using these kids like toilet paper at these big basketball school factories. And these little schools, the best thing they could have ever done is this move, so that these kids do what they're there and they're intended for, to get an education and to matter in life and to do something in life and to amount to something, instead of this pipe dream of being a pro basketball player. Good luck.
And look, there's 350-ish, 360-ish teams in Division I college basketball. Let's just talk basketball there for that moment. I wouldn't be surprised if that bottom layer, 50, 60 in terms of school size and what conference they're in, and, this continues on. I wouldn't be surprised if a few more of them find their way to the same road that St. Francis of PA is taking, because this doesn't pay.
Sacramento State, Mike, there's no kid playing at Sacramento State going to the NBA. You're just imagining things. So, and how do they pay them? They just can't. Look at Seton Hall. Seton Hall had a budget of like $1 million for their basketball team. I mean, Ohio State had a budget of $30 million for their football team. They bought a national championship. And not one kid ever went to class.
Here's a tip. Some machines and online games have higher average payouts than others. Want to try to maximize your odds? Well, do some research online to find games which have the highest RTP or return to player percentage. So now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.